Hey guys, I just made this entire video and didn't record my entire screen. So I'm having to start over. I hope y'all are having a good Thursday. I'm sorry I'm not here today. I will be back tomorrow. But please do what you're supposed to do. You'll know your routines. You know how to behave. Please be good for your substitute today. Okay? All right. We should already have our warm up glued down at this point. You can use your notes from yesterday. You can use your tip chart, your vocabulary to fill in the blanks here. So I give you a word bank. So you're going to use the word bank here to fill in the boxes and label your graph. Once you have done that, you're going to rewrite and complete the sentence. Remember, rewrite means to actually rewrite it, not just fill in the blanks. So go down to the lines on your notebook and rewrite this sentence, and then you're going to fill in the blank, okay? The sentence says, when writing a point, the blank value comes first and the blank value comes second. So we're talking about our X and Y's. Which one comes first when we're writing a point and which one goes second, okay? So go ahead. I will have the video paused. You have 5 minutes to complete your warm-up. Go ahead and pause it now. All right, hopefully you were able to complete that within the 5 minutes, hopefully maybe faster. All right, but let's go through and look at these, okay? So let's look at our first box here, all right? And it is pointing right here to what? What is that line called that it is pointing to? Very good, it is our Y axis, okay? So if that's my Y axis, what do we call this line here that one's pointing to? That is my X axis. Very good. Remember, you've seen me do this multiple times. If I'm standing like this, I'm my Y, right? My body is going straight up and down. That's my Y axis. Then if I step out side to side, that's my X axis. So your X axis goes side to side, your Y axis goes up and down. Okay. What do we call this incredibly important point here in the middle? That is our origin. All right, and then lastly, we label our quadrants, okay? So what is this first one? Duh, Q1, right? That's where we start. Q1 has our positives and positives. Then we come here, which one is this? Q2, or if you're doing the Roman numerals, you would write it like that. Then right here, I have my Q3. Again, your Roman numerals. Boop, boop, boop. And lastly, my Q4, which Roman numerals looks like that. Okay. Hopefully you were able to get that pretty easily. The last part, remember, you were expected to rewrite the sentence, not just fill in the blanks. When we're writing a point, the what value comes first, the X or the Y? The X value. And then the Y value comes second. Okay? So hopefully you were able to answer all of those. Remember, you could have used your notes from yesterday, which I said would be a good cheat sheet for you to have. So this should have been pretty easy peasy. Okay? All right, once you have this, go ahead, close your journal, and get out today's notes. All right, so today we're talking about our ordered pairs, okay? Now, hopefully you saw this last year, all right? When we're talking about our ordered pairs, we're talking about our points on our graphs, our dots, okay? So remember Again, I just did this when I'm talking about my x, okay? X is side to side, all right? So your x goes left to right. Okay? Remember, if it goes on my screen, it goes on your paper. My x is my left to right. Now, if we're talking about a number line, okay, remember a number line, if I'm at 0 and I go to the left, am I going in the positive or the negative direction? Hopefully you said negative. So if it's to the left of 0, it's going to be a negative x value. So then if it's to the right of 0, it's going to be a positive value. Okay. All right. So then the opposite of that, when we're talking about our y, remember our y goes up and down. Okay. For the sake of this, just to keep the order right, I'm going to write down to up. Okay. So if I'm at 0 and I go down, do we think that's going to be positive or negative? I'm going down. Good. That's going to be negative. So then up would be? Very good. I hope y'all are participating. So when we're finding our x values, we're looking left to right. And then when we're looking at our y values, we're looking at up or down. All right. So when you flip it over, you have a graph here. We have 4 shapes on here. We're going to talk about where each of those are. So the first thing I just want you to note, okay, is your axes are labeled here. So here's my y, here's my x. Okay, so I can recognize those easily. So now I want to talk about where those points are on the graph, okay? So remember, when we're doing these, okay, just like we just talked about, we have our x and then our y. Our x goes side to side, our y goes up and down. Okay. So the first one I want to look at here is my red triangle. Okay. So since our x value comes first, I'm going to look here at my x-axis, and I'm going to say, okay, well, my right triangle, to get to that, right, I'm going over 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going up 1, 2, 3, 4. So I went to the right 3, positive 3, and I went up, so that's positive 4. Mm-hmm. Another way that might be helpful to look at that, okay, is if I look at my point and I look at, okay, where does it hit my 2 axes? So if I come through here, it hits my x-axis here at the 3. So my x value is 3. And it hits my y value right here at 4. So my y value is 4. Whichever way is helpful for you, use that method. Make sure you're not mixing up your x and your y. Your x always goes first, left to right, and then up and down. So with that being the case, this was 3, 4. Okay. So now let's look at our yellow square. Okay. So I can say, all right, it hits my x-axis here at -3. It hits my y-axis here at 2. So my point is -3, 2. I could also think of this as to get to it, I have to go over 1, 2, 3. I went to the left, so that's why it's -3. And then I went up 1, 2, so that's where the +2 comes from. So this point here is -3, 2. Next point is the blue pentagon. Okay? So if I look here, I start at 0, 0. Remember, we're always starting at our origin. I'm going to the left 5. So that's -5. And then I'm going down 1, 2. So that's -2. I can also think of that as I hit my x-axis here at -5. I hit my y-axis here at -2. So my point is -5, -2. Lastly, we have the green circle. What do we think that one is? Can you try it on your own? So it hits my x-axis at +1 and my y-axis at -5. Okay. I also could have thought of it like I go to the right 1, down 5. So this is the point +1, -5. All right. I want to add on 2 more points here. Okay. First one I'm going to add on, let's put a point right here. Okay. If I'm looking at that point and I'm looking at my origin, does it move to the left or the right? No, right? It doesn't move to the left or right at all. It stays on 0, but it does go down 3. So since it doesn't move left or right, that x value is 0, but the y value, because it went down 3, is -3. A different example, if I have a point right here. If I'm looking at my 0, 0, my origin, that one doesn't move up or down. It just moved to the right 4. So to the right is my x, so my x is 4. But since it didn't move up or down, my y value is 0. All right, so go ahead, fix any of these that you need to. Make sure you have all of this down. All right. The next one, okay? You have a puppy dog. We're going to go through and write the coordinates for each of the points, okay? So we'll do the first one together. We're looking here at point A, okay? So I can say, okay, if I look here, and you don't have to draw these lines every time. It just helps me see it. But it hits my x-axis here at 2, and it hits my y-axis here at 5. So the point is 2, 5. Okay. Again, I could also think of, I go over to the right 2 and up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that gives me the point 2, 5. Okay? All right, I will give you 10 minutes. I don't think you're going to need 10 minutes, but you can go ahead, pause the video, spend 10 minutes finding your other points, okay? Remember, it's always x comma y. Your x is your side to side. Your y is your up and down, okay? So pause the video and complete the rest of these. All right, hopefully you were able to get this whole thing done. I'm going to put the answers up here and you can check your work. So the biggest thing is making sure you have the order correct. So it always has to be your x and then your y. And then also making sure that you have your positive and your negatives correct. Okay. So go ahead, pause this, take a second to check your answers. All right, hopefully you asked any questions if you had any. Your assignment for today, you're going to go on Schoology, come to my page. Scroll down, and you have a Delta Math assignment. Okay, Delta Math, coordinate plane, 10-2, log in with Google, complete it. You should be able to get it done before the bell rings, okay? This will go in the grade book, so make sure you get it done, okay? All right, I hope you're having a great Thursday. I miss you. I'll be back tomorrow. I love y'all, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.